very heroically when he was almost already in the clear.
Very heroically. I see what you did there. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that one child.
You were talking about Arthas before?
Yes, I was.
But hey,
and that one child who cheats in team fights by using mass res in a fight.
Yeah, that is amazing, though. Being able to not only mass res in combat, but also switch roles or switch classes from priest to paladin. Hey, come on.
You call it amazing. I call it cheating. No honor for the Alliance.
You know, Horde players have always been sore losers, so I'm used to that by now.
Look, we haven't found the result of that fight yet. At least I don't think we have. When Battle for Azeroth out?
We don't know the actual release date yet, I'm afraid. But there is the technical alpha going on, so you can definitely watch that on Twitch if you're interested in it.
Pretty cool. And here we go. Supports beginning at the top of the draft. Garrosh has been removed once again. But Hanzo, a fair reaction. And this time we see Sonya coming into the ban phase.
Yeah, this time we see the Sonya to be coming in here as well. Now, Sonya, of course, already such a staple, such a powerhouse. Still, China sometimes, you know, they play their own style, if you will, with Sonya. We saw a couple of very aggressive builds yesterday, focusing on the Seismic Slam at level 1, for example. It didn't go so well. The Sonya was quite bullied and manhandled in the process of the game, so maybe a little bit more of a passive and conservative approach would have done her better. What about the open division in Europe, by the way, that you're also casting, Tetra? Is Sonya still the one go-to solo laner, or are European amateur teams focusing more on other heroes such as Dehaka, maybe Malthael?
All those other heroes come into play, but Sonya is still the queen, basically. She's still pretty high up there. She's still considered to be the strongest.
Okay. And for all of you guys who are wondering what we're talking about, the Open Division is going, or the Open Division playoffs are going to continue tonight, right after China, probably with a 90 minutes or 1 hour time window in between. So if you're looking for more Heroes Esports action, you're definitely in the right place.
You're an unbiased party. Who are you rooting for?
I'm an unbiased party for sure. My heart beats for Granite Gaming, so I'm very sad to hear that they struggled so much yesterday. So hopefully they're going to be able to advance today. But I'm also rooting for my boys Singularity, because quite frankly, I'm going to be honest with you, not necessarily only because of the players, but the players are awesome. Players like Knutti, Henning, those are my boys. Karsi, he's getting me all excited every single time I see him. But I'm rooting for Singularity because I think it's amazing to see how much the organization cares for the team. They care for the players, they provide them with boot camping facilities, and that's really unique, I think, at least in the European scene, to see a team so invested and so caring about their amateur players. Which might be professional players soon.
We're pretty close, actually, to having more as many orgs in just Open Division than we do in HGC Europe.
Yeah, which is amazing.
That's pretty cool to see.
Epunks, you know, Team Singularity, shoutouts to those guys. Granite Gaming.
And Granite.
Those are all up-and-coming organizations from all over Europe. So it's really cool to see that the amateur scene in Heroes Esports gets so much attention and so much love. I would love to give something back one day. If I can, who knows?
For now, though, we shall jump back to the draft. We missed a Tyrael and a Tychus being picked up with the Malfurion. Very safe draft so far for Sunny Lion. Then banning out the Anubarak. Falstad was banned out by BTG, probably against Jaina, and then Jaina is stolen by BTG. So very much seem to be focusing a certain player here.
Now that I see the Jaina locked in again, Tetra, for Beyond the Game, I'm thinking back to game number 1, and once again I'm thinking of that variant pick, and I'm trying to currently make up in my mind whether the shield wall was the right choice after all, because if you think about it, Warbringer also gives you the chance to charge to an allied hero, right? So oftentimes, you could actually dodge a blizzard entirely by jumping or charging to a friendly target that's behind you or to the side of you. Of course, whether that's doable in the middle of a fight, whether you will have a charge left or not, is questionable. But I think the theory crafting right now towards that Warbringer is definitely legit, and I'm not even sure if shield wall should be picked against heavy burst mages anymore.
Yeah, I can understand what you mean, but they're still going for the Varian and the Leoric, a triple tank comp. But that's not necessarily a triple tank comp.
Now, Tetra, quit playing games with my heart there. You can't do that to me. Are we going to see a Twin Blade once again? I think China is the only region that has so far done it in HGC.
No,
Are we
I
going
think
to
they
see a
should
Colossus
just blow
smash?
up Tracer. Yeah, I think they should, if that's the route they want to go down. I mean, my concern is what's their follow-up, but then my mind says, do they need any? Varian's pretty good, just in terms of bursting heroes down by himself. He can almost one-shot Tracers with Taunt build, with Colossus Smash. Maybe combine that with Tyker's Grenade, for example. That could maybe be enough just for a straight-up kill on Tracer, and if they can do it enough times, she's going to be a very long time before she gets Ice Block.
So the draft that Sunny Lion has assembled here at this point looks like a Tyrael Death Ball, right? Which normally means 3 to 4 melee heroes. You're all focused on the same target. Then you drop the Sanctification and the Shields by Tyrael, and you make sure that all these clumped up melee targets are going to get the kill, and are also going to stay safe in the process. Now, normally you go ahead. You seem very, very excited.
No, the opposite. That would have been the one appropriate time to pick Cassia.
We saw her yesterday, it didn't go well, and now when she would actually have been a decent pick, we don't see her, unfortunately. I'm totally down with you on that train, by the way. I think the ball lightning could be great here against so many clumped up targets. The physical resilience that Cassia also brings to the table would have been amazing. But it's fine. I mean, it's not like Greymane is a bad pick or anything, right? Oh,
no, he's fantastic, but I can't help but feel there might have been a better option there.
Yeah. But once again, back to the point that I was trying to make. Normally, you see these Tyrael Death Ball compositions with a hyper carry, like let's say an Abathur Genji or an Abathur Illidan, maybe even a Zeratul sometimes. Here we have the Varian. Now, the Varian could very well go for this hyper carry style in the melee assassin form as a Twin Blade or a Colossus Blade damage Varian, right? Have we ever seen that succeed in HGC China? Yes, but that was more than a year ago. Is it going to work out in the current meta? We don't know. We have yet to see it. I don't think it was picked in any of the other major regions before. So this could very well just be a field experiment. Whether that's going to be the case or not, we're going to see in a bit, because it could also be, once again, the good old trusty taunt Varian. So without further ado, guys, let's introduce our team on the left-hand side. It is Beyond the Game. Once again with 619 on the ETC. LLK plays Sonya. Druid on the Stukov, Dancing on the Greymane, and Lai plays Jaina.
And on the right-hand side, it's Sunny Lion with Pow on the Malfurion, Jaina on the Tychus, Feed B on the Leoric, Wylite on the Tyrael, and first playing the Varian. Wylite's been demoted from the Lich and placed onto an Angel.
You see, by the way, what I saw? Varian was labeled as a warrior here, so he received the blue shield icon instead of the multi-class icon. Give it back to Varian, make him unique.
Yeah, he worked hard for that by having basically one viable heroic for months. Almost a year. He worked hard for that multi-class title. As we see him here, starting off with more shield falling, which could still lead into anything because more crits.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like overpower necessarily means that it's going to be a taunt build 100%. Of course, High King's Quest is always a little bit of a gamble because it could take a little longer until you complete it, but Lion's Maw actually now a little bit more viable with the absence of the holy trinity of parry, 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 1 to 7.
I mean, if we were going for anything, if we were going for a Cluster Smash build, I would have lent towards Lion's Maw or High King's Quest. It's harder to stack, but if you're in lane against Sonya, there's a good chance Sonya is going to be very willing to fight you and give you some of those stacks.
Definitely true. I wholeheartedly agree. Now, Sonya going for the War Paint, so the self-sustain will be hers, which against a Variant in solo lane, I don't really think it matters what you pick because you're so much more powerful in lane if you play correctly. Although Variant has seen a lot more play as a solo laner thanks to the fact that he now has self-sustain, right? You hit that Lion's Fang on the enemy hero or even on just minions and you're going to get a significant amount of self-sustain.
Yeah, if you can hit the minions once they're all lined up on the way to the lane, then that, so satisfying. Like, that's always good with any ability where you can hit every single minion in one ability, but if you can get them in a line like that, first, coming in deep already, stealing the camp. That is an aggressive, fast move in by Sunny Lion. Good hit and run there.
That was a 5-man invade as well, so if that invade hadn't gone well, if they hadn't stolen the Impaler camp, they would have wasted so much time not soaking the top and middle lane. However, they got the mercenary camp already, which is definitely helping them out to get a little bit more distraction done in the middle. They can also take care of the bottom Impaler camp that was taken by Beyond the Game earlier. So up to this point, both teams are just rotating, keeping the lanes safe and sound. Really cool to see that. Now, level 4 is around the corner on the Variant. This is the turning point. It is a taunt.
Fair enough.
Okay, so no crazy shenanigans here.
So yeah, triple tank.
Yeah,
we have so far seen this only lose this season in particular.
Yesterday, quite Sunnyline too.
On ETC, they tried a mini up the face melt, just completely new to that.
Yeah, that was very well done. ETC breaks no sweat when it comes to staying safe here for now. Wildlight, of course, having the Eldrin's Might available gets him to safety. The taunt is used on the Grey main right now, but the healing is too strong.
Taunt overlapping with Root several times here. First has to take the longest route round possible due to many circles and Venn diagrams being drawn by BTG, making the maximum area possible. Well, not in that case. They overlap pretty badly there. But it's just trying to cut off any escape routes with big AoE abilities. Unfortunately
here as well, Jaina was missing some of her abilities. If the Blizzard had been adjusted a little bit more, they could have slowed Varian right at the get-go, probably preventing him from getting to safety. As is, though, still no first blood. Highly unusual for HGC China, which normally caters towards a super aggressive playstyle with first bloods normally happening in the first couple of minutes. Here, both teams are still taking their time, and it shouldn't be long until the first shrine unleashes. It actually has appeared already, but none of the teams has actually committed overly to it. Now, here's Leoric, here's the rest of Sunnyline. How is Beyond the Game going to respond?
They are all rotating up. Greymane a little bit slower, so he could mount up and arrive in relatively good time. Leoric has been given a bit of time to get a couple of the skeletons himself to catch up, as Sonya was left alone for a little bit to get up to 9. Sunnyline in that time able to get up to 7.
Once again, the focus is real. This time Sonya gets supported immediately, though, by her team. 619 jumping into the breach, stunning the follow-up damage. And speaking of damage, Tetcher, if you get a taunt on an isolated target like that, even if it's a Sonya, if you had one more assassin, one more DPS source, you could probably get those kills. But look at that, they're taunting, they're rooting, but nothing ever happens.
Why ETC though? Why is it always ETC that they target? Jada barely survives, Pow goes down. Jada does still go down, gets cocktailed by Dancing as Dancing takes the Tyrrell Express route out into that walk and dark flight.
Yeah, and of course, if you have such a composition of Sunnyline with Varian, Tyrrell, Tychus, even Leoric to a point, when they're all clumping up, right? When they're all focusing on the taunted target, on the rooted target by Malfurion, guess what? A beautiful lurking arm underneath, and all the follow-up damage will be shut down for the most part. So Dancing and Druid, those two are definitely doing God's work here right now, keeping their team safe and sound. And up to this point, the Triple Warrior not working out as planned for the Sunnyline team.
There's so many questions that I have about the current strategy of Sunnyline. For starters, if this is the strategy they're going for, I can't help but feel that Stukov would be better. If they were going for triple tank, then the AoE healing is going to clearly get them better value. And they have the silence to follow up on a lot of stuns, and they're going to have better sustain fights. As Pau gets jumped on by the Punisher, but ETC not in position to follow up this time. If they're going to be targeting an individual person down, yeah, Tychus percentage damage, but why still actively only choose ETC when there's a Sonya right next to it? That if you can lock her down enough with a taunt after she starts whirlwinding to interrupt the whirlwind, then you're still going to get the value that way because you have an easier target to kill.
Yeah, look at the slow rotations. They still have 4 people grouped up somewhere near the top lane, although the Punisher was destroyed a couple of seconds ago already. And look at how Beyond the Game are using the map. They're splitting all over the place. They're trying to get mercenary camps. They're trying to soak multiple lanes at the same time. And that is the reason, of course, why they are more than a level ahead, once again, of their opponents. They also scout the bushes very well because they realize, you know what? All we need to do right now until we hit level 10 is just run away and kite the enemy team of Sunnyline and not get committed into any team fights. And that's exactly what we're doing. We see second win, by the way, this time for Varian at level 7. So going the more EU Open Division style here with consistent self-sustain, thanks to auto attacks now restoring a little bit of health.
Yeah, you're not going to be in lane as often, so you're not going to get as value out of the minion one. You don't have a level 1 Q talent. Down goes Malfurion. First will probably follow as well, actually, with that Spirit. You can see 619 wrapping around for an easy try and isolate there. But no, first just use him as escape. Potential misplay there by 619, giving him that route.
Yep, that was a really good escape there by Wildlight. And first providing the movement speed, the shields, and the self-heal then for the Varian, and he stays safe. You can actually see a huge chunk of health gained by just one Lion's Fang. It's just so beautiful to see all that self-sustain now after his Weaver.
We see the damage being dropped onto this bottom fort. They're trying to get there with the minion wave arriving. BTG will commit to this. Level 10 is hit. These better be some impactful heroics here. We see the shield wall still coming in here. Twilight Dream, that's a big deal. That could be something that could be a game changer here. Tychus holding on to his. I'm pretty sure Odin, honestly, in terms of turnaround ability, is the only choice. There we go. And Leoric's pretty safe to go either engage potential committee to late game, or the damage potential now. Goes for the damage potential now. Now they actually have the opportunity to potentially kill something. With Twilight Dream and Odin, I think they have enough damage to actually kill someone now.
Yeah, especially the Twilight Dream, I think, is going to be huge when it comes to locking someone down with the roots first, then preventing them from using any escape mechanisms thanks to silencing them. But you can really see what Sunny Lion is trying to do here, right? They're going for the Chinese Bushmare. They're having a bush party here. But unfortunately for them, Beyond the Game isn't even anywhere close. They were trying to go for the siege, for the Bruiser camp. And of course, it's something that Sunny Lion needs to be aware of, right? They see the yellow mark on the minimap. They are like, should we really try to go for an ambush on the opposite side of the map when they are trying to go for the mercenary camp, most likely? Feels like a little bit of a waste of time, but of course, there could always be that one target hero to maybe soak in the bottom, to maybe soak in the middle, so they were just hoping to maybe find a straggler, to maybe find an isolated target.
Exactly. When you're planning that kind of move, that kind of ambush move, you are gambling on your opponents playing wrong. You are gambling on your opponents, putting someone in a lane in a risky position where they don't have vision of you. That is an active misplay, and a good team should usually, unless they know they are physically better than the other team, should not expect the other team to do that.
All right, 13 is around the corner, and with Sunny Lion wasting a little bit of time before, I don't think they're going to be there here to really stop it from happening. All they need to do now Beyond the Game is just send one member to the middle lane temporarily and get that minion wave, and that is definitely going to be more than 14 skeletons, by the way, already for Beyond the Game, so they can take their sweet time to get 13. They're not going to have to worry about falling down too much. Here goes the focus on Sonya, though.
Tyrael tries to drop a shield, but gets caught in the mosh pit. Twilight Dream interrupts the mosh pit, but everyone's kind of dead. So Power gets whirlwinded down. A spear or a wolf to his face will take him down. Jada grenades to prevent himself being power slid through, but he is down, and that is a full team one.
Do you see that? Dancing just got a clean quad kill there. Greymane was the finishing blower on all 4 members. Here we get to see him going in on that 4-man mosh pit. Fantastically done here. And there goes one bite. And he's going for the next bite. And with a clean quad kill, Dancing is just turning it up.
Wow, that's super cool. He only didn't get one hero.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Good job by Dancing. Great mosh pit by 619 to set up for it.
And here Beyond the Game goes. The Odin trying to deal a little bit of extra damage onto the Punisher, but he's already charging furiously towards the keep. The gate has been destroyed, and here come the reinforcements. 619 doesn't have mosh pit. However, he will try to lock someone down regardless. After, of course, the keep has fallen, because that is their prime objective right now. Look at Sonya. She's just
big old chunk of damage. Yeah, Leoric's not here, by the way. This is a commitment of Sunny Lion that I don't believe BTG will try to end the game. Problem is, BTG can see Leoric, so now they're going to try and end the game.
Wait, is he even trying to teleport back right now, or is he just willingly taking the risk of...
Now he is. He was still attacking minions. I mean, it's a fair choice. It would be super risky for BTG to try and do it, seeing as Punisher was dead. It would just be a 4v5, and that's still risky. Here comes Zero for the side. I bet he wishes he has some tube right now, as Twilight begins to move in. Power Slive onto Pow. Power's the target. Sang lands this time. Pretty decent as they begin to turn around, but Tychus is already dead, and he's the main damage dealer.
Greymane is once again on a hunt. He's chasing after Power, the Archdruid. He has nowhere left to run. Dancing gets 1, gets 2, is on the hunt for more. Is it going to be the triple? Carefully anticipating where Tyrael might teleport to. He gets yet another kill. And look at that catcher. Triple Warrior, they can touch the Stukov. The healing is just too real. Here goes a mosh pit for good measure, but the keep and the core are already falling, and that is the 2-0 in favor of Beyond the Game. Just another day in the office here. Easy peasy win over the Sunny Lion, who are still looking very much shaken after shattering losses yesterday against KT as well.
Well played by BTG there. And like you said, Sunny Lion just looking a little bit shaky. Don't have too much to say about that. That was just several misplays, honestly.
Yeah, and it all started with the drafting. Once again, we saw yesterday how they were trying to go for exotic, extraordinary things with the Chen on Dragonshire in the solo lane, and then going for a couple of gusts here and there to maybe find an isolated target. It didn't go well for them. Then they tried the triple tank yesterday with a very aggressive Sonya next to an ETC, and I think the third warrior was Tyrael once again. And here they tried a similar thing with Varian in the mix this time, replacing the Sonya. It just didn't seem to work out, though. The focus was good. The CC was okay. The follow-up routes were oftentimes picture perfect here. But what can you do if the follow-up damage just isn't there, Tetcher?
Very little, other than go away, spend the several hours you have, because they have to play tomorrow as well. It's not a 2-day thing. Go away, take the several hours to rethink. Try and refocus yourselves. Because again, it's a double rotation of a bracket.
Yeah.
You get to play everyone twice. But if you're already in last place by the time the first rotation has gone round, you really need to reconsider and refocus.
Yeah, and you're most likely not going to make it far in the playoffs either. However, you have to defend. Like, for Sunnyline at this point, that they're so far cast off of everyone else, their sole and main goal needs to be to stay in the league. Right? Maybe find a little bit of strength in the second half. Maybe find a little bit of focus and momentum to maybe leave those last two spots and secure their survival. They did it again. Oh, sorry. They did it already in the past. They were able to stay in the league last time in Phase 1 when Timeflow and RPG went down to the Crucible, and they were surprising so many people positively. Maybe they can do it again. But however, with those recent role and hero player swaps, just doesn't look as good as it did in the Phase 1.
Yeah, agreed. I think they've got the wrong end of the stick in general in terms of drafting, and that's something that has to be worked on fairly rapidly. BTG, though, solid play. They suffered a pretty severe loss to the one yesterday, so this is going to be a much more encouraging victory for them.
Yeah, very true. This was an important victory for Beyond the Game to basically keep track of their opponents, especially the one who they're chasing after, even Soa as well. And those two teams are going to face each other later on. So in an ideal world, that's going to be a tie, and then Beyond the Game will have made one step closer to catching up on them. But for now, guys, just in case you aren't familiar with how HGC China handles things, we're going to take a look at the final match summary, then we're going to crown an MVP, and then we're going to have a pretty sweet segment of replay analysis. I'm already curious to see who's going to be the professor today. I think that the only person who hasn't really done that yet is Genshuo. Maybe Yaya hasn't done it either, but...
Yeah, Yaya hasn't. Neither of the female casters have yet.
Chu hasn't done it either,
Yeah.
It was only Nova and No, I think.
Yes, I believe you are correct. And then there's two more. There's Big Guts and there's one other that we still don't know the name of very well.
Yeah.
They have a lot of casters.
They've got a lot of amazing casters. And the cool thing about the Go Club in general is that normally the casters never just stick to one game, but to several Blizzard titles. For example, Noscily is also invested into the StarCraft 2 scene a lot. I'm not sure if Nova does StarCraft 2. I think he does. But
I mean, his name Nova.
Yeah,
so...
yeah, exactly. He's probably up on the StarCraft 2 hype train as well. And then there's Hearthstone they're covering. There's World of Warcraft events they're doing. Overwatch, I'm not particularly sure. I would have to do some more research on that.
Yeah, I don't know if they have an Overwatch thing in China. I assume they do, but
Overwatch is huge in China. I'm not sure if it's Neo TV or Gold League that are covering.
I just don't know what their league. We don't know what their league system is. I think they have like 1 or 2 players in the Overwatch league. I might be wrong.
Yeah, they do have a couple of Chinese players in there. They also have a China-based team, the Shanghai Dragons. Unfortunately,
but base is a different thing. London Spitfire doesn't have a single British player in it, so that doesn't really matter much.
But yeah, we are just waiting to see who was crowned MVP and to see the match summary as well. Looks like there is a little bit more talking going on right now. We can take a look at the Chinese office or the Chinese studio once again, though. Yeah. Looking ever so pretty.
I'm just I'm just currently having a look to see if there is a Chinese player.
You're trying to look
curious.
A Chinese player in the Overwatch League?
Yes, there is. Shanghai Dragons is pretty much full of them.
There we go.
It's like only Chinese and Korean players.
Pretty sweet. But they weren't doing so well the last time I checked. So maybe they've recovered. Maybe they were swapping players here and there.
Yes, several British players. That makes me proud. Wait, I know this one. I actually know this one. I've met about the event. Numlocked. Cool. I've learned. Neat. Here we go. Match summary. 11-0. Very, very, very clear story.
Not a single structure destroyed for Sunnyline this time around. It was an even more one-sided game than the one before, where Sunnyline was able to get at least half the kills of their opponents. This time, they were completely shut down, just like yesterday. where the triple warrior comp performed even worse than in game number 1, or what they had in game number 1. So hopefully they're just going to make a big red cross in their player books. Triple warrior, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah, it's twice now, twice failed.
But Tetra, third time's the charm, right?
It's a small sample size. That's not scientifically accurate and not scientifically admissible.
Yeah, third time's the charm. Maybe they're going to try it again tomorrow. And then after the week is over, after the second week is over, they will then have gathered enough data to
come to the conclusion of, oh, that was just a bad week for us. This will still work.
Yeah. Let's try it again.
Yeah, you learn more from your losses than from your victories, and we can hope that that will be the case for Sunny Lion, or as one of my favorite esports players in any game of all time, White Ras, said, "More GG, more skill."
Very true. The ancient wisdom passed on for generations in Ukraine.
Yeah, also special tactics.